In 2025, a terrifying new Indonesian Chinese horror film titled The Power of Darkness hit the screen. What makes it even more chilling? It's inspired by a true exorcism case and even calls upon the 12 disciples of Jesus. The story begins with two girls sneaking into a cemetery at midnight. One of them pulls out a creepy-looking doll they had brought along, clearly prepared for something sinister. They begin chanting strange incantations. And right in that moment, the doll's head twists 180 degrees, now staring directly at Kayla. Suddenly, the cemetery caretaker appears. Panicking, the girls quickly grab the doll and flee. But as they sit back in their car, chatting nervously, none of them notice the ghostly figure slowly appearing in the rearview mirror. Back at home, Kayla experiences something strange. She gently covers her sleeping mother with a blanket and turns to head upstairs. But just as she reaches the stairs, her mother's figure appears again, this time standing and awake. Shaken, she convinces herself it's just her imagination and rushes to her room, clutching the creepy doll she brought from the cemetery. The next morning, she throws the doll into the trash can outside. But as she walks away, the doll twitches, as if it's alive. Later at school, Kayla notices her best friend looking pale and weak, with a strange bruise on her neck. Her friend brushes it off, blaming poor sleep. But when Kayla returns home that evening, she finds her mother with the neighbor again, something that fills her with rage and sadness. She storms to her room and glances at a family photo by her bed, only to discover the same cursed doll, back from the trash and sitting quietly. Horrified, she throws it away again. But this time, the sky roars with thunder. That night, lightning splits the sky open, and the ghost returns. It doesn't wait. It finds Kayla as she sleeps. Her mother is awakened by her screams and rushes in, only to find Kayla standing by the wall, whispering something over and over with a blank expression. It takes desperate calls from her mother to finally snap her out of the trance. From that day forward, Kayla is no longer the same. Bruises start appearing on her body without cause. Her health declines. She hears dark voices whispering, telling her to die. And that ghostly girl, she's always there, watching her. At school, Kayla is haunted further. She sees a teacher who seems too familiar because she is the ghost. When she returns to class, her best friend is gone. Later, the truth comes out. That same morning, her friend was found hanging from the ceiling at home. The school board calls Kayla in to find out what's going on. Trembling, she finally reveals everything. Two teachers decide to drive her back to the cemetery, hoping to understand. But on the way, Kayla suddenly smirks, a twisted evil grin, and begins banging her head violently against the car window. Frightened, the teachers bring her to a monastery within the school. An elder tells them only one person can help, a priestess who is currently in the middle of an exorcism for a young boy. She's the only one in the monastery with the power to face this demon. Meanwhile, Kayla loses all control over her body. In class, she begins to harm herself, consumed by madness. Soon, Kayla's mother is called in. Before any exorcism can begin, family consent is required. The next day, the priest and his team arrive at Kayla's home. They begin preparations, laying out holy relics, donning purple robes, and reciting powerful incantations to summon the demon inside her. But nothing happens. Undeterred, the priest takes out sacred oil and draws a cross on Kayla's forehead, determined to drive the evil out. Suddenly, the room's lights started flickering like crazy. The moment he realized force wouldn't work against the demon, he quickly pulled out holy water from his suitcase and splashed it right on her. For a moment, it worked. But just when they thought they had control, the mother heard Kayla's desperate cries from the room. She burst in, grabbed the holy water from the floor, and threw it to Thomas. Together, all three of them fought the demon back and finally forced it out of her. But the next morning, Kayla's boyfriend, Lao Wang, heard everything. And instead of believing them, he thought Kayla was faking it. He believed it was all a trick, just to push him away from her mother. So when it came down to choosing between her daughter or her boyfriend, the mother didn't hesitate. She chose her daughter. Lao Wang, heartbroken and humiliated, walked away. The very next moment, the mother took her daughter to visit the grave of her late husband. And after returning, she took off the engagement ring Wang had given her for her daughter. But little did she know, the demon had never left Kayla's body. Instead, it appeared on the road and blocked the priest's path. And then something strange happened. As the priest walked closer, Kayla collapsed. He rushed her into the car, intending to take her to the hospital. But that's when it happened. The demon slowly revealed itself. The next morning, the old priest survived. But what he discovered was far more terrifying. It wasn't just one demon inside Kayla. There were many, and they weren't just random spirits. They were servants of Lucifer, summoned when Kayla tried to contact her dead father at the grave. And now, the final demon, the strongest of them all, was ready to take full control. It nailed the mother to the living room wall in the style of Jesus. Meanwhile, while mother and daughter were battling inside, Thomas arrived carrying a box full of exorcism tools. He rang a sacred bell, temporarily holding the demon back. But when they rushed downstairs, there was no one, because the demon had dived straight into the swimming pool outside. Now, the final and most powerful demon had taken full possession of Kayla. And what did it do? It transformed itself into Thomas's dead wife to distract him. As Thomas froze in shock, the demon grabbed him like a rag doll with a single hand and lifted him in the air. "Help! Me! Help! Me! Someone help! Me!" Back in the hospital, the old priest felt it. He got off the bed, knelt in front of the cross, and prayed with all his heart. And somehow, back at Kayla's house, Thomas rose again. He picked up the holy cross and pressed it right against the demon's forehead. But this time, he kept his eyes completely shut. Finally, the demon screamed, shrieked, and was banished from Kayla's body. That thick, black, cursed water she had swallowed was now pouring out of her mouth. Honestly, if this wasn't based on a real Indonesian exorcism case, you'd never believe it. And in the end, Thomas followed in the priest's footsteps and became an exorcist himself. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button. Drop your favorite moment in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more dark and thrilling tales.